Morning, everyone. I'm Mary Jo Larson, publisher of Franchise Times magazine, and I would like to welcome you to this month's Franchise Investment Show. This is an opportunity for franchisors to give their investment case to you, our viewer, regarding their outlook, their expansion plans, etc. And it's just an opportunity for you, our viewers, to learn about what's happening in franchising, getting the inside scoop. We are so excited today to have with us Hothead Burritos, Cartridge World, and Central Bark. Thank you to those franchisors for being with us today, those brands. And if you have questions today, please press the button at the bottom of your video feed and you'll see a chat there. You can send those questions on to us and we'll pass those on to our speakers and they'll get back to you via email. And if you would like to learn more about our speakers, you can just press the speaker button at the bottom of the page as well. As promised, each month we like to do an interview with someone of note in franchising who can give you some information on what's happening in the sector. And this month we are very delighted to have our own editor-in-chief, Laura Michaels, interviewing Alicia Miller from Emergent Growth Advisors. Laura, Alicia, welcome.
Thank you for joining us for this month's Franchise Investment Show. I'm Laura Michaels. I'm the editor-in-chief of Franchise Times, and I'm excited for my conversation today with Alicia Miller, whose name you hopefully recognize as one of our regular columnists here at Franchise Times. And she is also now the founder and managing director of Emergent Growth Advisors. And she has a new book coming out, one that I'm very excited to read, and which is covering a super timely topic. It's called Big Money in Franchising, Scaling Your Enterprise in the Era of Private Equity. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Welcome, Alicia.
Thanks, Laura. Glad to be here.
I'd love to have you start for our audience, that maybe doesn't know your background. Share a little bit about that and the formation of your new company, and then tell us a little bit about what prompted you to write this book.
Sure. So I actually started as a multi-unit franchisee myself and did that for about 5 years, did well and enjoyed it immensely, and then transitioned over to the consulting side. In my business, we work with franchisors, usually, and multi-unit franchisees who are anticipating often a private equity transaction. And we also work with private equity firms and family offices who are looking for good opportunities in franchising or who may have purchased a system and are looking to optimize their growth and hit their business case. So we get to see kind of all sides all the way around. I also serve on the board of directors of a multi-unit urban air franchisee. So I get to see sort of that perspective on the business as well. And I wrote the book because it seemed to me that there was a big gap in people's understanding about how prominent private equity really is in franchising and some of the things that people should be thinking through before they join a franchise system or found a franchise system as a brand founder. Felt like that information needed to get out there in a more cohesive, cogent way. So I wrote the book and it's going to be out very soon.
Wonderful. Yes, I know, we see a lot of attention paid to private equity entering on the brand side, on the franchisor side. But as you are discussing in an upcoming column, it definitely has its impacts on the franchisee side as well. And also we're seeing more involvement on the supplier front with that money coming into that side of the business. So there's definitely a lot there. Thinking about our audience today of existing franchisees and prospective franchisees who are here to evaluate brands and look for advice on how to go about that evaluation, when you think about that audience, should these prospective franchisees consider whether a brand is PE backed when they're making their own decision?
Yes, I believe they should. Absolutely. For several reasons. First, private equity has established a fairly dominant position in franchising. It is at both the franchisor and the franchisee level, it is invested in more than 700 brands. No surprise, these overlap pretty heavily with the top 400 brands tracked by Franchise Times in the most recent issue that came out. So private equity has sort of come in at the high end. But what that also means is there's a lot of franchises, thousands of them, that are never going to break out and never will attract private equity help or attention. And as a prospective franchisee, it's important to kind of think through why that is. You know, if a brand that you're considering has PE backing, you'll need to do some additional due diligence on that sponsor and check with franchisees on, you know, whether they're having a good experience under that sponsor, whether they're getting the results that they look for and are hitting their profitability objectives. If the brand is not private equity backed, what are the chances that it could be someday? I think it's very clear that private equity backed firms and platforms have at this point an outsized advantage in the market, and it is incredibly hard for emerging brands now to break out. They have to have something really, really special, or they have to kind of sell a lot of licenses and try to grow their way into the market's notice. But because private equity backed firms and platforms have such a recruiting advantage with franchisees, it's just hard to get out of the noise and break out. So it is something that prospective franchisees in particular really should consider.
Yeah, so thinking then about how that impacts the franchisee's due diligence, what suggestions do you have, or what questions might a prospective franchisee ask either of the franchisor or of other franchisees in the system about their experience?
Sure. So first thing is to think about where that brand is sort of on the spectrum, so to speak. You know, is it an emerging brand that has not yet entirely proved the concept? Is it sort of a fast growth brand that has proven the concept and now kind of has momentum behind it? Is it more of a legacy brand? And is it private equity backed or not? Once a brand gets into private equity, I call it the private equity profit ladder. Basically, it's going to keep trading at a fairly predictable cadence over the years as different owners, different sponsors with different agendas and skills work with that brand through its life cycle. So a private equity firm that works with a franchise in its emerging brand state looks very different from a private equity firm that might pick it up later when it's much more established and is in fast growth mode. And again, looks much different when it's a brand that already has achieved some scale and maybe growth has slowed down and now it's more about optimization. So if you think about sort of where the brand is on the spectrum of its own life cycle, and then what types of private equity firms or family offices might be involved at that stage, you can come up with some kind of predictable notions about what's going to happen in that brand during your ownership period, right? So those are things that need to be thought through and considered. When you're doing your due diligence, there's quite a lot of information available freely online, and people need to read franchise disclosure documents, especially the financial disclosures, to understand what the ownership structure is, how long they've owned the brand, what, if any, debt there is on the business and when that debt is due. And then, do some internet research on the history of the brand and how the brand has done under various private equity owners if it's owned. And then speak to franchisees. Always you should be speaking to franchisees anyway, but they can give you a much clearer understanding of what it's been like to operate under that sponsor and whether or not they feel that sponsor is a good sponsor and a proactive sponsor of the brand. Some are very hands-on and some are more passive and will let the management team lead the way. But either way, you need to include that in your due diligence and your thought process.
Yep, and it definitely takes, a tremendous amount of work on the part of, the prospective franchisees that are evaluating the brands to look also, I would think, for franchisees that maybe have been in the system at different times. Maybe they've gone through multiple ownership changes, or they can speak to what the brand was like when it was founder-led versus, what the situation is now. And something I hear a lot about from franchisees is, they're so excited when they're looking at new brands and they really love the existing leadership team. And a lot of times if it's an emerging brand, it might be a founder-led team. And something that, I think they're often told is, don't get super hung up on who that founder is because they might not always be there. What is your take on sort of thinking about, from a franchisee perspective, who the leaders are in the organization at the time and understanding that that could change?
Yeah, that's a great point. over, a license agreement, if it's 5 or 10 years, that's a pretty long time. And I don't think you should join any franchise because you love the team. That should be a consideration, that you respect and like the team and think they're good. But the team can change at any time for any reason. But certainly when private equity comes in, usually PE will only buy a business in the first place if they think the team is backable, right? Because it's usually too big of a lift to completely change the team in the short time span that most private equity firms, usually about 5 years of ownership. That's, to turn over the whole management team is too much. So generally they will only back it if they like the team in the first place. But, working with a private equity team fundamentally changes things for that management team. They go from running the business to operating the business, right? Now they have a board of directors. They can't just hire anybody they want. They can't, do whatever they want. They've got to report to this board that is controlled by the private equity firm. And that changes things. And sometimes it's not a fit for that founder who's an entrepreneur and, may, at some point chafe under that sort of direction. It really depends on the situation. But I think it's safe to assume that the management team could change during your period of ownership, and you should be prepared for that. And you should love the concept, feel that the model is the right model for you and will give you the profitability results you're looking for. And then like the team, but realize the team could change.
Yep, that is definitely a great point to make, and something that I would urge our audience today to be thinking about as well. And we hear a lot of, kind of the questions to ask, but I'm curious, in your view, what are some of the positives that you've seen from the private equity firms, that you've worked with, without necessarily naming names or brands, but, what maybe franchisees could look forward to because there is that backing?
Yeah, the biggest lift in the work that I did to research the book, the biggest lift is clearly with emerging brands and fast growth brands. And this is, again, fairly predictable in the sense that the business case for a private equity firm investing in those kinds of businesses is all about growth. You can't extract maximum value from doing financial engineering alone. There has to be an operating component to the business case. So private equity firm is going to be likely to invest in personnel, especially franchisee support. They're going to want to get units open and ramping to profitability as fast as possible. They'll invest heavily in marketing. Often they will invest in technology, depending on how long their hold period is and how quickly that technology can get turned up to be useful for franchisees and for customers. So those are things that you can track and see throughout the history of the private equity firm. Now, as the brand scales and becomes more saturated in certain markets, then it becomes much more about optimization at scale. That can drive very different behaviors and strategic choices from the board level on what the private equity firm is going to invest in and what they're not going to invest in. So this is where you've really got to kind of understand your own objectives and see kind of where the brand is on the spectrum to know what's going to be a fit for you and what your own expectations are coming into this franchise opportunity.
Yes, that is all great advice. And thinking about it, just from a basic level, is the fact that there is PE ownership or backing of a brand, is that in and of itself an indicator of a high quality franchisor? What's your thoughts on that?
That would be a due diligence shortcut that I would argue against. It is a signal only that a private equity firm believes that acquisition serves its own needs and its own agenda and strategy for making a return for its own investors. It does not indicate that it's a quality franchise. It also doesn't certainly indicate it's a quality franchise for you and your objectives. So again, it's a good signal that there's something there that the private equity firm felt was worthy of investment, especially if the private equity firm is investing at the franchisee level, not the franchisor level, because that's a whole nother level of due diligence on their part to make sure that they feel comfortable in unit level profitability for themselves. But I think it's a positive signal, but if you take the shortcut and don't do your homework, you could end up on the wrong side of that decision. And you need to really do your due diligence and make sure that it's a fit. And look, I know it's a lot of work. I get it. But you're investing your money and your retirement and your time, as well as the opportunity cost of other things you could be doing instead, you are worth it. You are worth it to do this due diligence and make sure it's truly a fit for you.
Yes, that is, if people are fatigued and they're fed up in the process of researching a franchise, they might want to take a minute and sort of think about what they want to do next in their career journey, because it definitely requires a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility, and people want to make sure they're making the best decision for themselves. I'm curious, and I know you talk about this in your next column for Franchise Times, but if we can spend just a minute on the entry of private equity on the franchisee side. Is that something that, other prospective franchisees should be asking about and considering that, in terms of its impact on just the franchisee ownership base?
I do. I think that's actually, that is an interesting signal, right? Because if private equity is entering on the franchisee side, there's two things going on here. First of all, the private equity firm believes that the unit economics are favorable enough that even a private equity firm can get out of that engagement what it's looking to do for its investors, right? So it's the owner's economics, quite literally, are attractive enough to attract that private equity owner. But the second thing it does is it signals that there are buyers in a system, which impacts exits and what franchisees should consider. A lot of franchisees get into franchising without ever thinking about an exit. At some point, you're going to retire or you're going to leave the system, and you've got to think about your exit path. If there's no private equity investing at the unit level, there are many reasons for that, and you need to get to the bottom of why that is. It could be that the model is really more set up for owner-operators. That tends not to attract private equity, because private equity wants to run scale. They want to have a multi-unit operation that they can run through managers, right? They could be being blocked by corporate. Corporate may not want private equity in the system. You might want to ask why that is. Because, having a private equity group of franchisees, these are going to be smart, they're going to be very vocal, and they're not going to be shy about saying, hey, profitability needs to come up. Not every franchisor wants to deal with that kind of pressure. Those guys move really fast, and they can coordinate their message quickly across multiple ownership groups because they are fundamentally aligned in what they're trying to accomplish. And there's much less emotion about it than perhaps with a owner-operator franchisee or a multi-unit franchisee who doesn't have private equity backing. So corporate could be blocking it. But more likely, if the business has some amount of scale, right, because PE wants to see scale, if there's some amount of scale and it's been around long enough so that there are resales starting to become available, and you do not see private equity in that system, that is a signal that there's potentially an issue with unit level profitability, pure and simple. So you've got to kind of think all of that through again and understand why private equity is or isn't a factor at the franchisee level in a system that has some scale.
I could talk with you about this all day, but we're approaching the end of our time here. And of course, to our audience, I'll encourage you to look for Alicia's work in Franchise Times, and of course, to look for her book coming out. When and where can people find the book?
It'll be on Amazon, available in March. I'll have printed copies in January, so I might be able to get some out early to folks. If they want to get updates, just go to bigmoneyinfranchising.com and leave your email, and I'll give you updates as they're available.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Alicia, for your time today and for your insight and perspective. I really appreciate it. And to our audience, please stay tuned for our presenting brands today: Hothead Burritos, Central Bark, and Cartridge World. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia and Laura. We really appreciate you being here with us today, and that was really interesting. Thank you so much. We are all ready for our first franchisor presentation with Central Bark. I would like to welcome Bob Crawford, CEO of Central Bark. Bob, can you tell us a little bit more about your franchise?
There's no bond like the one we share with our furry family members. Our dogs give us unconditional love, and we want to do the same for them.
Hi, welcome to Central Park.
For over 20 years, Central Park has provided the highest standard of care to the dogs, families, and communities we serve. We call it whole dog care, a philosophy that aims to nurture and enrich each dog's whole health and well-being so they can share their best life with their family. We know that dogs aren't just like family, they are family, and we take great pride in treating each dog like they are our own.
I know.
At the heart of whole dog care is our innovative enrichment doggy daycare program. This combines our industry-leading doggy daycare expertise with the latest in canine behavioral science and positive reinforcement training. Enrichment Doggy Daycare gives each dog a healthy and balanced blend of physical and mental exercise, socialization, training, rest, and extra TLC. They need to be healthy, happy, calm, and well-rounded. Beyond doggy daycare, we also provide exceptional boarding, grooming, and training services, as well as a curated market of pet supplies. Central Park is different, special, and better for families and for our franchise owners. When you combine our passion and expertise in dogs with a proven and profitable business model and multiple recurring revenue streams in a fast-growing $123 billion pet care industry, you're going to be in good company. As a franchise owner, you'll receive best-in-class training, tools, and resources, as well as ongoing support to help you launch and grow your business.
Here's the New Year's birthday folder.
You can create the work-life balance you've always dreamed of while building a meaningful community-focused business in one of the most rewarding, exciting, lucrative, and fun industries around.
Hi, girlie.
We're actively growing across the country and looking to add more like-minded, dog-loving superstars to join our already amazing franchise network. If you are ready to join the Central Park family, visit us at centralparkfranchising.com. We look forward to welcoming you.
Hi, my name is Bob Crawford. I'm the CEO of Central Park, and I'm really excited that you're taking the time to learn a little bit about our brand, about our business, and about the future. We are currently about 40 locations in 12 states. We have another almost 25 outlets that are sold but not open, and we're a leader in the pet services space. We offer dog daycare, overnight boarding, grooming, and training services to our pets and pet parents. Our business is over 25 years old. It started in the late 90s. We've been franchised in 2 different locations, the upper Midwest in the Wisconsin area and Florida. We've been franchising for 20 years, and our current business is growing because of some incredible favorable macro trends. There are 90 million dogs in America today. And just to give you a perspective, there's only 74 million children under the age of 18. So there are more dogs than children in America today. That happened actually in 2019. COVID has accelerated this trend, and we see going forward that there's even more incredible growth opportunities. I'm sure many of you, if you don't have dogs in your household, there's 2 types of people, those that have dogs and those who want to have dogs, right? But I think that if you just as a consumer, you can look at the numbers, you can see the growth of the category. I started my career in pet food almost 30 years ago, and the expansion of this business is nothing short of remarkable. And I think going forward, though, it's even more exciting. We know what the role of a dog does in people's lives. They provide unconditional love, pure joy, pure happiness to families and pet parents. And going forward, when you look at the current ownership trends of dogs, I think when you look at specifically the cohort ownership numbers, that's even more exciting. Generation X and Generation Z are some of the highest pet owning cohorts in America today. You can go and fly on airplanes and visit hotels, and you will see more dogs than you ever have before. When you go to college campuses, you will see more dogs than you have ever seen before. And the ownership age is decreasing on pet ownership, and it's that will carry through over the upcoming years and decades. There's still growth because even while 70% of American households own pets, only 40 points of that is dogs. So we see the opportunity even more in terms of the growth opportunity. So for us in the pet services space, the company that provides dog daycare, overnight boarding, grooming, and training, the opportunity for us in the market is significant. Our close to 40 locations are doing well financially. You can look at our item 19 on our FDD at your convenience, but you will see some significant growth opportunities, and you will see some exciting financial opportunities that our business creates. What I want to do with this next part of the presentation is share with you a little bit about our brand, a little bit about our services we offer, and give you some opportunity just to learn a little bit more as we go forward. So I'm going to move over to the presentation now and really walk you through our brand story and, more importantly, where we're going. We started in 1997 with two founders, Jackie in Milwaukee and Chris in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They merged their business in 2003 and been franchising since then. It started off as specifically doggy daycare. That was the only service or the primary service that we offer. Now today, we'll be closing in on 40 locations, and you can see the size of our facilities between 6,000 and 10,000 square feet. You can see the nature of the retail locations in the lobby where dogs come in with their owners. And you can see the lower right, just an example of the team of franchisees and the home office group just collaborating together to build our business. The core Central Park customer lives between 5 and 8 miles of our location. They have a sense of belief that the dog is like a child in their family. They treat their dogs as children. They're committed to the dog community at large. It's predominantly female. The range is anywhere from 35 to 55. That's average. We have younger and older SKUs on that. Mostly college age with household incomes of north of $80,000 on average. We have a membership model, a weekly requirement for daycare, and that does add up to about $2,500 per year that a customer will spend with us. So the revenue is sticky, to use a common word. There's recurring revenue, and it's incredible source of strength that our business has. What about us? Well, the core central belief of our business is that we provide whole dog care. That's our core offering. And the foundation of whole dog care is around enrichment doggy daycare, which I'll get to in a minute. But we believe that the mental, physical, and emotional health of a dog should be prioritized. We have a science-based, safety-first mentality and mindset of how we run our businesses. So as it relates to the operating model that we have and our business processes and procedures, it's around small play groups, it's around rest, and it's around safety. These are core elements that differentiate us and separate us from the marketplace, in the marketplace. Our franchisees are really active in the community. I just give you an example here of some of the examples of just what we have. On the top left, there was a grand opening. A store grew out of its location, moved to a new location. We sponsored We were the title sponsor for Pet Fest. It was a Milwaukee-based event where there was over 5,000 dogs on the Summerfest grounds. And it was an incredible experience. So we're actively engaged with booths on the upper right. That was taken at Pet Fest. We also, partner with organizations, in this case, the Milwaukee Bucks, to sponsor a pop-up Bucks and Pups event. There's so many opportunities of us. I could only pick a few pictures, but just this booth that is featured in one of those pictures on the lower grouping it happens with every single franchisee across every single location that we're in. So we are actively involved in the community. It could be events like I've heard one called Woofstock, like Woodstock, but for dogs, right? Paws in the Park is another one. Paws on Grand is another one. There's so many fun examples. The Dachshund Dash is another one that we're involved in. There's so many examples of the partnership that we have in our communities and the fun that we can have with our business. Here's a picture of a grand opening on the bottom center there. That was in Oakdale, Minnesota. It's a suburb of St. Paul. And we also take really seriously giving back to the community and educating the community. And April, for example, is Dog Bite Prevention Month. And we encourage our franchisees to engage with local schools and communities to educate the public on the proper way of not only handling a dog in the community, but also encouraging our children and our young people to have good habits and good processes or good behavior on how they interact with dogs. So there's an incredible amount of educational outreach and celebration and community involvement that our franchisees have in the community. And it's incredibly exciting and inspiring for us to see. We also win awards. Here's just a few of the examples, right? Tampa, our location in Tampa, won Best of the Best with the People's Choice Awards, right? The next one is a Milwaukee area location in Sussex won Community Improvement Award by virtue of not only of taking over a location and upgrading and enhancing it, but being active and involved members of the community. Our franchisee in this case literally had worked tirelessly to not only further their own business, but improve the community overall. And that's an award that they were able to win because of that. Charlotte also won an award in Best of the Best with Charlotte Magazine. And this is just a picture of this. They called it the Bob Awards, and I figure I had to show that given my name. And in the one on the far right, Jacksonville is another example. They have won Best of the Best, People's Choice, 4 years running. And it's an incredible story, and it's just a good example of the awards that we win across our business. So we're super excited about this and about the not only the involvement that our franchisees have in our business, but the awards that they're able to win. Now, a little bit about what is whole dog care, right? It's a full range of personalized activities that are dedicated to mirroring dog behavior. And I just want to, first start, why do dogs need daycare? Dogs can be overstimulated. Dogs can be anxious. And part of what we do at Central Bark is develop a curriculum that mirrors the natural rhythms of dog behavior. And you know that on average, most dogs sleep for about 50% of the day, they rest for 30%, and they're active for 20%. I realize this is an average. If you have a young lab, that may be a little different. An older dog is also a little different. But on average, dogs, that's the rhythm of the average daily life of a dog. Not a bad life, I guess. But the other thing that dogs are social animals as well. right? So dogs need to play with others. That's how they find joy. That's how they find satisfaction. And many dog owners out there understand this. The other things that we do is we create a safe environment for dogs. I will outline a few principles that we have and how we run our business, but these are critical components of our offering, just to make sure that we constantly reinforce what's right for the dog. We're a science-based, dog-first, safety-first concept in the pet services space. Just briefly about enrichment daycare, we believe that a few things. One, we do believe a dog should be in packs, but we also believe that no more than 15 dogs is the right size of a play group. So for our enrichment protocols provide for no more than 15 dogs per group, and we think that's the safe, and it's the right number of dogs per handler for the dog and for the handler. So it's easier to manage, it's safest for the dog, and it's most enjoyable for the dog. Some dogs, if you get in larger groups, you will see dogs sort of shy away, they will disengage, and we don't think that is the best use of the time that a dog would have in a group. So part of this is small play groups. Part of what we also offer is mandatory outside time. So obviously there's certain areas of the country that are harder to be outside in certain parts of the year. But all of our franchise locations have outdoor play spaces, and that's a real key critical part of our brand. We believe that dogs are meant to be outside. They're most satisfied, they're most complete when they are outside. So these are two small components of our business. The other one is a rest period. We have required rest periods for all of our dogs, where we actually separate the dog from the play group. We put them in a quiet space, and again, it mirrors the type of natural behavior that a dog has, right? Active in groups, resting and sleeping. So we have a curriculum. We often talk about it as a private school kindergarten play group approach, or private school kindergarten approach. There's room for public school. There's room for all kinds of schools. Our specific execution is around small play groups and what we would call private school kindergarten. We do also offer boarding opportunities, and that are executed in conjunction with our daycare. We do have a weekly requirement for our daycare, so if there is a sleepover, the dog gets a complimentary day with daycare. We also, most of our locations now, all of our new locations, have a separate area called Stay and Play, which is for dogs that are not involved in the weekly in our weekly play group program. There is a overnight boarding opportunity for those dogs as well. We do some special things for enrichment, and we have a curriculum involved that involves in one-on-one play with dogs who are in our boarding option that are not part of the daycare business. We also have a salon and spa for grooming. And for those with doodles, or if you have doodles or have friends and family with doodles, the doodles are taking over the world. And the growth of doodles and the need that doodles have with grooming it just continues to be more and more important, and it continues to grow. And all of our locations have a salon and spa. It's a part of our service that we offer. You can combine that with your daily or overnight stay as well to make it a convenient option for the pet parent. Training is a core element of what we do. We do enrichment training. We also have training tutor sessions. There's some incredible one-on-one opportunities. And watching these dogs actually work their brains is really inspiring, and it's amazing what we can do with training. We do positive reinforcement only. So we believe that's the right approach for to help dogs learn how to behave as appropriately. And it's again more services that we offer. We offer a retail market as well. So if there's high impulse items with treats, or if there's other accessories that we can tailor, make the recommendations to the pet parent, we do that as well in our market. And what's nice is that because we have such interaction with the dog, we can actually recommend certain products and certain types of products and tailor them to the individual dog. And we get to know we often say we get to know and love your dog just as much as you when a dog comes into a Central Park. Lastly, I just wanted to encourage you to explore franchising with us. You can go to our website, and I'll share it with you in a minute, but the pet industry is experiencing tremendous growth. As I mentioned in the beginning, it's over $123 billion and growing. It's recession resistant, pandemic resistant. You know, the pure joy, love, and unconditional love that dogs provide are critical. And our core mission is around providing whole dog care. Our vision is to have every dog in America have a Central Park experience. And we encourage you to explore this with us. There's opportunities throughout the major markets in the US. And if you'd like to learn more, please go to www.centralbarkusa.com, and we would love to have the conversation with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. We really appreciate you giving us the inside information on Central Bark. Now we are going to welcome Cartridge World. Greg Carafello is here to talk a little bit more about the brand. Greg, welcome.
Thank you, Mary Jo. My name is Greg Carafello. I'm president of Cartridge World America. I've been with the company for 20 years. I took the responsibility of president over about a year ago. I've been an investor in the company. I still am an investor in the company. And I have nothing but high hopes for the company as we take this company and drive it to the next level. Our business itself has been in the United States since 2003. And our business is basically working with one of the most explosive areas of the office environment and home environment, which is the printer and printer toner. Right now, we're revitalizing the program, and we brought out a program where a lot of people are very, very interested in working from home, having the freedom to do what they want, when they want, where they want, make money, and also have recurring revenue, having people that continue to order every month or every week or every 2 months. The industry itself, it's been around since the 50s and 60s, but the printer itself has been around since the 80s, and the recycling, remanufacturing, and secondary brand model like Cartridge World has been in business since 1988. We were founded in Australia. We came to the United States in 2003, and we've grown to over 120 locations. The industry itself is a $74 billion industry. That's the projected revenue for it by 2030. So there's an awful lot of growth here, and the business itself is flexible. So again, if you're working from home, you want to work from home, you want to work from a small office, you want to have the freedom of what you want to do each and every day, and you want to have recurring revenue and income levels that you want, and also people that like you, and they're normally saving money when they speak to you. A very high quality product. And what happens is we have our major niche is basically what we call the no-cost printer program. And that program is where we provide you, our franchisees, who some have been with us for almost 20 years now, provide you with a printer at no cost to you for the printer. And that includes service at no cost to you, and then monitoring of the printer's health and making sure that the printer is operating and there's no paper jam, and the toner is plenty of life left in it, and so on. And that's our signature. If you had to look at Cartridge World, our main signature is that we provide you with the printing environment, the printer, the service, and the supplies, and that is our niche. The potential itself by 2030, you can see it's almost $75 billion, growing from less than $50 billion today. The thread of our company is recycling and sustainability. That's what we were founded upon, and we came to the United States 20 years ago based upon that. And in today's world, we last year alone, we saved 168,000 cartridges from going into the landfill. And I can't tell you how many millions of tons, but also 23 gallons of oil was saved because every time you make a cartridge, it takes anywhere from 1 to 2 gallons of oil. So we're doing our part on the recycling effort, and it's a fabric of our business. Our business itself, as you can see here, it's cost effective. We've revolutionized the solutions area. In other words, I was saying earlier about the no-cost printer program, but basically we have that, and then we have a couple of other programs which are coming out now. The no-cost printer program has been in existence for about 6 years now, and our top stores are excellent at it. Some of these stores have given away, distributed 2,000 printers, and people order. They take the printer and they take the service. But the beauty to the franchisee is you're getting recurring revenue. You're getting people that reorder every single month or quarter, and that's very healthy for you in running your business, that you have consistent cash flow. And we're one of the few industries that you can do this, one of the few businesses you can do this, where you're opening a business and your business model should be based upon a very profitable business, which is what we are, a very large business with the $70 billion of potential marketplace, and also recurring revenue. So you're not always carrying heavy water every day. You don't have to get up and I got to find new customers and I hope that somebody comes in. These are basically contract-based businesses. So you build the business and you get as many contracts as you can. In other words, give away as many printers as you possibly can. And in turn, these people will be ordering from you not only for 3 years, but for 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years. As long as the printer works, they love it. If it doesn't work, we replace it, put a new printer in. That's our niche. And we include, again, the service and the supplies. You buy the supplies from us, but it includes the service and the hardware at no cost to the client. Now, some people have 100 printers, some people have 1,000 printers, some people have 5 printers, some people have 1 printer. It doesn't matter. We want to make sure that every printer in America has that we can place if we could, and also provide them with the supplies needed. And those we've revolutionized that part of the industry. We also have specialists. So as you're an owner, you're going to learn an awful lot. We have tools that we provide you on your phone, on your tablet, or on the computer, where you can find any printer in seconds. And there's 65 years of printers. So you'd find any printer, any copier. You can find out what the volume ranges are, what it costs new, what the street price is today, what toners it needs. Anything you need to make an intelligent decision to recommend to your business client which product you want to either give them or sell them or put them on what we call flat rate subscription model. So we tailor solutions to meet all the needs of our clients. And in turn, as a franchisee, you have flexibility. It's not one item that you can use and go to work with that. You have several different options, and they all work. Our strength is that we provide the highest quality in the industry, but we also provide the printer itself, as I just mentioned, but also we provide some of the highest quality toners made in America. And in turn, our customers have the highest quality printer, the highest quality service, and the highest quality supply item for anything that prints. So whether it's a copier, it's a printer, whether it's color, it's black and white, doesn't matter. We don't care. We're agnostic to all that. We basically can provide product to fill and print in any of those products. And the best part to the client is not only do they get the printers at no cost and service at no cost and monitoring at no cost, but they also are upwards of savings. Their savings are typically anywhere from 15 to 20% less than they're paying right now. And with that comes the recurring business model. And again, I mentioned it earlier, but when you go into business, and I'm lucky enough to have been in business for 42 years. I've been in this industry since 1981. I've been very successful at it. I enjoy it, but I also understand that when you own a business, there's a couple of things you want to make sure you're worried about. One is that you're profitable, and 2 is that you have recurring revenue. Because if you have recurring orders and recurring customers, it's like having an apartment house. The first of the month, all the checks come in, or all the credit cards are ACH'd and so on. Checks are ACH and the credit cards are basically swiped. So that's some of the models. Those are some of the items you want to look at when you run a business, because at that point in time, it continues to build upon itself. Our legacy is we are flexible. The only word you're not going to use when you own a Cartridgeville franchisee is the word no. We can anything that has to do with printing, we can support you. So we can support you with a home model if you want, with an inkjet. We can support you. Our main business is business to business, though. Our main business is going into insurance agencies, into medical offices, accountants, lawyers, auto dealers. These are the businesses that spend the most with us. So you go in there and they either have heard of us or not heard of us, but then you're going to have the ability to help them out in their needs and their high level printing. And they love us because, one, they're dealing with a franchisee owner, and people like that. And they like that a lot. And they also like us because of the no-cost printer program. And then they like us because basically we're saving them money in the entire printing environment. And please keep in mind one thing: when you become a franchisee of Cartridge World, we put our arms around you. We're gonna take you from day one with online university, and you're gonna be then trained in person, and then you're gonna have continuing ongoing education. We're very big on supporting our owners in training and support. And then you're going to become what they call an expert in this field. You're going to become proficient in this field. So you'll be able to recommend the most efficient machine for the end user client, and also where you're making a good margin on the printer and printer supplies. And that's we're very proud of that in how we work. We've won all kind of awards over the last 20 years, and we are now basically in expansion mode. So this is what we're looking to do here. We use what we call the pain points. And if you go to our website, which is cartridgeworldusa.com, you'll see the pain points. You'll see them spelled out. You'll also see a list of all of our franchisees, and you'll be able to order product directly if you'd like to. But when you go to our pain point section, every business has these pain points. And again, our model is work from home, work from a small office like a WeWork or a Regis. And it also is most of your time and efforts are put in towards growing your business, meeting people, helping people, revisiting people, things like that. And we have the tools that we put in to help you with that. And one of them is the pain points. If you look at the pain points, every single one of these are 9 of them here, but these pain points, most businesses do feel over inventory, running out of toner, product that's too old, it's too slow, it doesn't have the quality, you name it, there's pain points. We inconsistent quality, things like that. That's where we come in. We look with the client and we say, what are your issues? Well, we don't get delivery on time, or well, the printer is always slow, or it's broken, or I can't get toner in 3 days, or it doesn't work, or it doesn't yield what it should. This is where we come in as specialists. We're in our franchise model. We're the only franchise in this industry, and we're the only franchise in this industry that focuses 100% on the printer environment. So you have printers, you have copiers, you have large format poster makers and things like that. All of those things we fill, and then the copiers, obviously. So these are pain points that you'll use on and on and on. It's on our website, so make sure you go to cartridgeworldusa.com. The executive model. This is the model I was just explaining a little bit of. We brought this out about 8 years ago. And this model was based in Manhattan, because what happened in Manhattan is I'm a master franchisee for this company also. So I've been with the company for over 20 years, and I'm a large investor in the company and the master franchise. And what we found in New York City and Manhattan, we couldn't afford the rent. You can't really pay $20,000 a month or $15,000 a month to sell cartridges and toners and printers and things like that. So we had to go into a different model. So we went into an executive office model where you're working, and again, from home, from a small office, from a Regis, anything you'd like. Or if you want to be a co-brand of ours, and let's say you have a print shop and you want to put a Cartridge World inside of it for your sales team to have more tools to go out and expand your business, we can do that also. But we went inside, we lowered the cost. The cost to open up one of our franchises it used to be up to $200,000 for a retail bricks and mortar, we call them, environment. This model here, executive office model, is basically it's $50,000 for the franchise fee. That's a one-time fee, and that includes training, initial training and ongoing training. So you'll never pay for that. and we ask you for upfront for $18,000 that we put into a bank account for you, and we prepay for your 12 months of advertising and marketing for the first 12 months of your life as a franchisee partner of ours. We find this will lead to much higher level of success quicker. You have no cost. I mean, if you work from home, and as long as you've got a computer, a phone, shoe leather, and some tires on your car, you can make money in this business and make a lot of it. I mean, if you look at some of the clients that we have, and we're just opening up a national account program where the stores will receive the benefit, and we're also opening up in the fourth quarter of this year, we're going to be opening up a general service administration, which is the government, federal government, state government, and county government, and local government. And we're going to be going strong after those businesses. You're going to receive all the benefits of those. So we provide you with marketing and technology. The technology is really cool in that we just announced it. We announced it earlier in the year. It took about 8 to 10 months to complete, but we have our Fusion system, what we call our ecosystem. So the customer is sitting at their desk, Amazon Easy, we call it. Everyone's used to sitting in their chair and ordering things. So you order. Whether you're a present client or a future client or a repeat client, doesn't matter. Order goes into the local license, the local store level, and then what it does is it goes in. They place the order because all the cartridges are there. They pay for it with their credit card, and then it ships out. And then then that client continues on into what we call the CRM, Customer Relationship Manager. We have what we call it a remix, but that goes in. So they're always going to be tickled going forward every 2 months or 3 months or 3 weeks, whatever their buying cycle is. But that's a complete ecosystem which we provide you with. And we just invested in a company that is basically a database company that has patents on how to find Boolean searches and things like that of people looking for toners and printers and copiers in your area. So those are leads which is automatically hot, and they automatically email them that same minute from you, and then you get an email that an email was sent. So we provide you with the tools, and we're going to upload 2,000 names into your Fusion ecosystem. And you'll be able to, and these 2,000 names are of the 6 categories that we know from our franchisee owner partners that order our products, not just any business, but these people do spend money with us. So you'll be able to just, between the 12 months of advertising and you being in person with them and on the phone with them and emailing with them and LinkedIn with them and so on, you're going to be very well established with the client base in your area. Another beauty of our business is we have long-term relationships with our vendors. We don't just bring on vendors. We have vendors that have been with us for 15 and 18 years, some of them 20 years. And I will tell you that I strongly recommend from our board of directors that if you're not a champion of Cartridge World as a vendor, you're not a vendor of ours. So we make sure that every vendor, when you call, I don't want to say they jump, but I'm going to tell you they should be giving you more than the time of day. And our goal here is to make sure that we are getting the best products, the best prices, the best service, the best deliveries from all of our vendors, whether it be marketing, or whether it be printer cartridges, or whether it be printers, or whether it be service on printers, any of the above, telemarketing, anything that we provide you, we want to make sure that they provide you with the best. Our business is small to medium sized in most cases. So our business model is, let's say, 50 printers and under typically. Now, up until now, and we're going to change that because we're going into the national account and the regional account. So if you have 200 locations, there's one big grocery store has 2,200 locations, and we're first in line to win the bid. Not done yet, but we're very close. But our business model up until now and should continue is we are entrepreneurs. You are business owners helping other entrepreneurs. And people in the small business world and medium-sized business world and even large-sized business world all started out from nothing. And then they grow, but they respect you and they understand that the pains that you're going through, and they understand that you'll drive out there on a Friday evening to make sure that they're taken care of. That's what owners do. When you're dealing with a corporate employee, there's a high probability that it's Friday at 5 and I'm off till Monday. That is not the case when it comes to entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs. If you got to drive out on a Saturday morning, I know some of our owners that would have done that. Whatever takes care of that client, we do. Our customer service is the best by far in almost any business I've ever seen. Our franchise owners, our franchise partners, They do more for clients than you could ever imagine in all different aspects. Our no-cost printer program I spoke of extensively. That is our signature dish. We're the only ones that do this. You're not going to find anybody else that can do it. And our goal here is to distribute printers and distribute the service with the printers and the monitoring so that you make an awful lot of money consistently, recurring every month from the cartridges, the toners, and so on. So, and it's a successful model that is just about to expand even greater. And our big thing, one of our mottos here is we simplify and systemize. When you're running a business, there's so many people in the small to medium-sized business world, and even the large ones, that have a great ability to complicate a business. Simplicity wins the end of the game. Your goal here is to have high sales with a great lifestyle, unlimited income, and low cost. That means you make money at the end of the day. And that's what we're here for. Under my leadership at Cartridge, we will always be speaking of systemizing and simplifying. No question about it. And we also speak to your pocketbook. We want you and your family to be happy here. Our goal is to make sure that you're operating as high as you can in the profit mode. We give you the tools. We study your profit and losses. Everybody provides a profit and loss to us. We study it for your benefit, for no other. We see 100+ of these. We want to make sure that you're getting your costs here are as good as the best in the business with us, or your advertising, it should be lower, it should be higher. This gives us intelligence to help you in a better manner. So we simplify the operations and we systemize the operations, because you should never work in the business. In the beginning, you will. But after 6 months or a year, if you build this business correctly, following our programs of the no-cost printer program and the marketing and simplicity, this business will be working for you for many, many, many years. And it's a great way to run it. That's why we have people 20 years in the business. Your investment and returns. In the franchise industry, there's a document called the Franchise Disclosure Document. It's what the federal government requires. The Federal Trade Commission requires that we are registered, we are audited, and we follow the state and federal government laws. The FDD is more for federal, though. And I will say that for 20 years plus, we've always been, we've never had problems with franchisees. We've always worked well with them, and even people that maybe felt that they made a mistake and they wanted to figure a way out. We try to help them to either go forward or help them to find an exit strategy that works. But if you look at the numbers here, this is what in the FDD, which is the Franchise Disclosure Document, this is called the Item 19. The Item 19 is very important. And this is what allows you to see some of the information that we're not allowed to share unless we have registered it like this in the FDD. So you can see the numbers here, and you can see the average unit volume of the top 50% of locations is $343,000. You can also see the average unit volume of all locations, very strong, and some that are not as strong, is $233,000. Now remember, it's $50,000 to buy into this business with $18,000 for marketing, and there's no cost on top of that. As far as when I say no cost, advertising is a cost, the royalties are a cost, and other things that you do like trade shows and networking events and so on. So I ask you, as the president of this company, when you come on board and you become one of our team members, you look at long-term hard work and grow your business. I've opened 7 businesses in my life. I've sold 4 of them. I still own 3 of them, and I'm president of this company. I will tell you, I love business. I love helping people. I love the franchise model. To me, it's the only way to go into business, because you have so many people trying to help you. We have a team at corporate that's helping in financial, helping in legal, helping in administration, helping in training, helping in marketing. You just come in and grow a business. We will make sure we provide you with the tools needed to grow a business. And we're talking about just follow our system. You follow the system will make sure will help you be very successful, assuming everything else is that you're doing is along the system. The harnessing of technology, I kind of spoke about this, but this is what you need to look at when you're looking at a franchise model. And believe me, it's in-house creative. We have a chief marketing officer, and he actually owns an ad agency, and he does all of our design. And we have it staged on our website, where you can, not our website, but our internal communication, where you can go to the asset library and you can pull down whatever you need, whether it be a video or whether it be a trade show graphic or whether it be a brochure, and you customize it with your information and so on, business cards, mailers, anything you need like that, videos, training videos, how to kind of printer information, all that stuff is housed there. The marketing success portal, that's huge. That's what I was just kind of speaking about in all fairness, but that dovetails with the in-house creative. And basically, this is what you need. You're in the marketing business. We are a sales and marketing organization that distributes printers, service, and supplies. That's our business. Inventory management, you're in inventory management and financial knowledge. Your business acumen is my goal, is to make sure that you know how to run this business. And hopefully you get a Harvard MBA from, I guess, my 40-something years of experience, plus our financial end and our legal end. We want to make sure that you know how to run a business successfully and pain-free, and also make an awful lot of money. And we have public relations company that's been they've been with us for most of the 20 years on and off, but they're with us now, and they're really, really, really doing a great job of helping us educate the clients of what we do. And social media is all done through our in-house creative with our CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, when I say CMO. And that area is, we believe, the strongest area we should be. We believe that LinkedIn and Sales Navigator and Meta and Google, these are Facebook is Meta part. We believe this is where we should be spending our money, and so far we are, with great results. And we will do that for you as part of your advertising. And we're also nationwide with our Google searches right now to help every single owner in the system. So these are things which will be benefits to you. Executive and partnership support. Our board of directors, our owners, are very supportive of us. They know there's huge opportunities here. They know we've done well. They know we can do 10 times better if we get this right. And this is where we're going with the company. I ask you, if you're willing to work hard and you want to grow a nice, clean business that Monday through Friday, work from a lifestyle that you want from anywhere, really. And I didn't mention one thing, there's no sales limitation. So let's say you're from, Tulsa. You could be selling in Tulsa, but let's say your brother, your sister, your friend is the buyer for a big tire retail firm with 25 locations in Chicago. You could support that. You could support that client, and that's from Tulsa. So there is no limitation to where you can go and what you can do. Remember, the only word we don't say here is no. We don't say the word no because we can do. This is a can-do kind of company. Myself, I went over a little bit of the history. It's now 42 years, even though it's 41 years. I started at Canon in New York City, and I've grown my businesses in New York City, and I'm in New York City right now, actually. So my wife and I started the first company. My bio's there. You can Google me. You can do whatever you'd like to do. I'm a diehard cartridge person. I've been here for over 20 years. I invested in this company. There was no cartridge anywhere in the country, but I knew the industry. And this is a large, large, large industry that's pretty easy once you get it right. So that's what we'd like to build. So please look at it, because I also am involved with many businesses, and I love cartridge world. It's just the best. This is part of our team. You've got Tina Riccio, who's in charge of franchise support, but even more than that, she's in charge of legal administration, combining a lot of the marketing and so on, and getting all the reports back and getting back to people. Eric George is our finance manager, who does a lot more than that, and he helps bring in things like better email programs, financial support, advertising, branding. We call our advertising fund the brand fund, and he's very involved in all those aspects also. And this, as a team, we meet often, and we are, as a team, growing this business. And the team is not just us; it's the 125 locations and franchise owners we have in this country. We send out surveys all the time. We want to hear from you, because when you're a franchise owner with us, we're going to support the heck out of you. But you got to tell us what you need sometimes. If you're running into things that we're not hearing about, or we hear about it too late, that's not going to help you. So problem solving is very real for us, and it's very high up on our initiatives where we go. But we're here, and we have a motto. Our mission is to serve and support the franchisee. That's you. That's our only goal of being here. That's what we want to be for you. Here's a piece where I'd like to show you one of the videos. This gentleman here, and you're going to see a couple of people in here, but this gentleman here has been almost as long as I have, Mike Mancuso, exceptional business owner, and runs one of our best stores in the top 1 or 2 every single month. So I'd like to just show you a video.
Well, I've been with this franchise for over 20 years. I have great opportunity with the revenue is more and the profits are greater.
I wanted to get into a franchise. When I looked at the business, I loved the business. It's a low-tech solution in a high-tech industry, very high-margin product, which is fabulous. It was a great family business. I went into it with my wife. We're partners. I had my son, who still works with me to this day.
And I have one other video also just on Mike himself. Not that Mike is one of 125, and there's 50% of those stores are up in his leagues and chasing and always having fun and sharing knowledge. So there's a second video I'd like to show you.
There's never been a better time to be your own boss, to enjoy the lifestyle you want, the freedom you need, and the income you deserve with your own Cartridge World executive franchise. Our new retail store optional, high-growth executive franchise model makes it easy to get into business fast without the need for a retail storefront. No weekends, low investment, and an exclusive suite of business products and services to capitalize on the increasing demand for affordable office printing solutions. Plus, you'll receive professional training, digital marketing, and responsive support you'd expect from an award-winning global brand. Take the first step to unleash your entrepreneurial potential by contacting us to learn more.
In closing here, you could scan this and find out more information. You can scan this QR code and find out more information. We are very excited about our opportunities here. We've remodeled the whole company to be very friendly to your lifestyle, but also to make money and to grow a business. And the marketplace is gigantic. People are printing more and more and more, and it's more color printing, which is much more profitable for us. So we love where the direction of the business is going. We have very supportive owners. I try with my team at Cartridge World America to absolutely do our best to support you and be honest with you. And if we can help you, we can. And if we can't, we'll make sure we let you know right away. So this is our business. We'd love for you to scan this. We'd love for you to give us a yell and go over the business and see how you can get involved. We are looking to grow. And again, we're looking for very industrious people that want to grow a business and are hard workers, but think long-term and are good with clients and customer service driven and supportive and people that, because you're in a relationship business. So once you'll be friends with a lot of your clients because every month you're going to see them, every 2 months you're going to see them because it's a repeat kind of business. So these are the things these are the people we're looking for. But what I just haven't through tonight, today is the tools that we have that can help you grow your business. That's our goal. Financial acumen. We want to make sure you know how to grow a business. We want to give you the tools. We want to give you the training, and we want to make sure we support the heck out of you to systemize and simplify your business and maybe your life a little bit too. But please give us a yell, scan that QR code, and give us a call. And I'd love to chat with each of you personally. Thank you.
Greg, thank you so much for that information. We really appreciate you being with us. Next up is the brand Hothead Burritos, and talking more about their concept today is Ray Wiley and Kelly Gray. Thank you both for being here today.
Hi, my name is Ray Wiley. I'm the co-founder of Hothead Burritos. We founded the company in 2007. I'm currently the CEO and president. Well, I've been in the restaurant business since pretty much day one. My dad was a Pizza Hut guy. I've worked at Domino's. I've worked at a number of brands. My dad showed me how to build restaurants through building Skyline Chili's. And then I ended up in Subway in 1989. So I was with them about 28 years, but during that process I learned a lot about franchising, and I wanted to become a franchisor. So in 2006, I was looking at other concepts. We looked at the burrito world. It was very popular, it was growing, but they were really expensive franchises. And I just thought, I can do that better. I can do that less expensive. And so we started Hothead 2007. We're just over 80 stores right now, and things are going good.
I'm Kelly Gray. I'm the Vice President of Hothead Burritos. I've been involved as an owner since 2017 and actually was the real estate agent for the very first location in 2007. So I've been involved really since the beginning. So one of the really cool things that we did this year, because we're always looking for fun new marketing things, and every Mexican chain out there does something for Cinco de Mayo. Well, this year we decided to do Cinco de Monto. So we had a whole month of prizes. We had scratch-off cards. The customers loved them. We had one of our customers won a trip to Cancun. They were really thrilled. And, free burritos for a year. And, we kind of tap into our vendors sometimes to kind of help us out with things. And we like to make it fun. We sponsor Kids Club at the Dayton Dragons and Cincinnati Cyclones hockey. Any way we can get into the community, that's what we're trying to do.
Well, I tell you, we provide a bunch of support for franchisees as far as producing materials for marketing. If you need a new ad made, our in-house team can make that usually in a couple days. It's just we really spend a lot of time talking to and working with our franchisees. So on the advertising front, that's what we got going on. Operationally, we have the support of our manuals, our training things, our training videos, our support. We have a monthly newsletter that goes out, a lot of information moving back and forth because we're here to help those franchisees succeed.
So our royalties are 6% of your net sales. Super important, I think, that with Hothead, we charge on net sales. So if you're looking at coupons, discounts, or third-party vendor pricing, we don't charge you on money you're not getting. So that's one thing that differentiates us from other franchises. To get a Hothead open, you're generally looking in the neighborhood of about $350,000 to $450,000, just depending on a variety of factors, really the real estate being one of them. And, if you're able to find a location that was a previous restaurant, that's going to save you some money. Or if you have a landlord that's willing to give you a tenant improvement allowance, and we're going to help you negotiate all that. And we're going to try and get you in as cheap as possible, because we want you to do 2 stores, not just 1.
So currently we're in a growth mode at Hothead, and we are currently running a special for the end of the year, and that is a stair-stepped royalty program. So if you buy by the end of the year, you're going to get your first 6 months is going to be 1% royalty. That next 6-month period is going to be 2% royalty, and that's going to continue to go up every 6 months until you reach the regular 6% royalty. Again, we're doing that for multiple reasons. We want to attract new franchisees. We want to help those new franchisees have more money in their pocket, and therefore maybe they'll develop more stores quickly. And so we're just trying to grow the brand and grow our community.
We're generally looking for an end cap or a freestanding building, preferably if a drive-through. We really found that after COVID, those are super important, and we probably have 10 stores right now that have drive-throughs, and we really mastered that during COVID. We have a number of stores that are in line, but really those end caps or freestanding buildings are preferred. They just give great visibility, generally give really good access, and those are the things that we're looking for that really are a recipe for success.
Well, I would just say, at Hothead, again, our name says hot, but really the majority of our customers are ordering things that are not hot. Number 1 sauce, sweet habanero, it's sweet, no heat in it at all. And then, a number of our sauces are mild, and we focus on even some of our sauces that are hot. We have enough flavor in them that our focus is not hot, it's flavor with warmth. So, Hothead sauce is not really hot. Now, the jalapeno ranch is a great sauce, but it can be a little warm sometimes. But again, if you want it hot, we have sauces that'll, light you on fire. If you want it cold or cool, we can do that too.
I think customers love the number of options that they have. They can get a burrito or a bowl. They can get a little burrito or a bowl, which our competitors don't offer that. You don't always want all that food. I know personally, if I order a large item, I'll eat more of it than I plan to. Instead of taking half of it home, I'm gonna eat the whole thing. So a lot of our customers love that option. Plus, we have tacos. Kids love tacos, so you can bring your kids into Hothead and everybody can have a great meal. I love to get my burritos or bowls toasted. It makes them, nice and warm. The cheese is melted and gets all ooey gooey, and it's my favorite way to have Hothead.
I would say this. The nice thing about the restaurant business is if you have a good concept, which Hothead is, and it's simplified, and you get it in a decent location and you run it right, they can do amazing financially. So I'll tell you this, in my experience and other brands, they weren't necessarily treating the franchisee like a customer. Our franchisees are our customer, and we're going to treat you like a customer. And then obviously you're going to go treat your customers like a customer, but that's how we see it. We're here to serve you.
Kelly and Ray, thank you so much for telling us a little bit more about your brand. We appreciate you being with us. In fact, we'd like to thank all of our brands today: Central Bark, Cartridge World, and Hothead Burritos. You can find out more about their presentations on franchisetimes.com. And if you are a brand that would like to be part of future episodes of the Franchise Investment Show, please contact Kevin Peach at kpeach@franchisetimes.com or at 612-767-3206. And again, thank you for being with us today. We really appreciate it. Have a great rest of the day.